What's up, YouTube? I'm coming at y'all real quick this morning to do a video that hold I'm doing a video on that one of my subscribers had asked me to do last night, and I told her I would do it today, or will do. So where we at right now? This video is about young Pharaoh and his a video he put up the other day concerning his court case. And there was a lot of comments and a lot of people. Well, actually, it wasn't Pharaoh. Let me say that correctly. I think it was Kev Gills who put it up. And in a sense, he was calling the brother a fraud, saying how he told on himself, and now he's asking people for money and this, that, and the third. And like I said, I don't mind busting people down when it comes to that shit. If I feel that you a fraud, if I feel that your intentions on joining this conscious community, the real conscious community, not Sinetters, I be feeling like I'll say something if I feel like you really trying to get over on people, if you're really trying to fraud people. And as of right now, I don't have any evidence, and I haven't had any vibes about Pharaoh frauding people. Now, like I said, I don't watch all his videos, but I watched enough to know that I fuck with the young dude, man. Like, he's trying, and that's all that one can do. He's making an attempt. So there's plenty of brothers his age who wouldn't even talk the shit that he talks, or even tries to learn the things that he learned, and y'all know that. So to sit there and try to beat the nigga down because he's young and a little crazy, like, I don't understand that shit. Like, the dude kept put a video up about the nigga. Supposedly he put a rap song out, alright? And on his rap song, this nigga was like, he hopped the fence, threw the pistol in the yard or whatever. So the whole thing is, first off, legally, before we could say anything, that's why I was like, I don't know what possessed you to make the video and not clarify it, yo. Like, legally, in a sense, and I'm gonna get into all of that, because anybody who sits there and tries to go one-on-one with me with this whole legal and lawful shit, yo, I will kill you with that shit. I will kill you, because I can prove in a couple of sentences and a couple of questions that you're relying on circular logic to make your points, which is a logical fallacy. Okay? So don't hit me up talking about, well, the law, such code says this. I don't give a fuck, because if I ask you where's the facts and evidence that that code applies to me, you'll refer back to the code. So that's saying the code applies because the code applies. That's circular logic. That's a logical fallacy. Okay? That's like me saying the Quran is the word of God because the Quran says so. That's not proof, and that's not facts. That's a logical fallacy. That's beginning and ending with the same thing. Premise, like, no, you need to tell what goes into making that factual. So, and what goes into making these codes applying to you? What factually goes into that being? And please don't waste my time saying because you were born here, because I don't know how you can prove just because I was born on a certain patch of land that some arbitrary rules made up by somebody who didn't even know I was alive or going to be born apply to me. And you cannot say, oh, when you're born in a certain area and they make the laws, it applies to everybody. How? Magic? Would you niggas believe in magic now? How the fuck does Ted or Sarah sitting in an office somewhere making up a law apply to me? Like, factually, just give me the trail of how that happens. But anyway, getting back to Pharaoh, he made this song so fucking what, yo. That shit's theater. And so, for you to make a video about that shit, I would really wish you had used something a little more concrete, or even if you were going to use circumstantial evidence, why is you using it in that regard, like to try to make the nigga look like he's something that he's probably not? Like, the dude is probably like 24 years old, 23 years old. So yes, he's probably into hip hop, nigga. Like when I was 21, I was really into Wu-Tang and hip hop and shit like that. So I don't understand how that's a big deal, how that's a problem. You know that that's theater. You cannot sit here and say, oh, he just said how he didn't have a fan and he threw a gun and he just, dog, that could be any different scenario. You have no proof that that's what he's talking about. And do I believe that's probably what he's talking about? I will admit that I believe that that's probably what he's talking about, that same situation. And if he had to rethink it, he probably wouldn't have did it again. But for you to come out and make a video like that, like, dog, whose side is you really on? Like, I always question that shit because I don't fucking talk that law shit. There's one thing you'll never hear on Derrick Jones Talks. You'll never hear Derrick Jones saying anything in favor of people who call themselves law enforcers or people who call themselves lawmakers, because that shit's arbitrary and it's compulsory. They do not ask you your opinion. They just make up shit, whether it affects you positively or negatively. They'll do it and they don't give a fuck and they'll go to sleep at night. So I don't respect that shit. This country tells you a bunch of fucking bald-faced lies, like it operates off the consent of the governed. Anyone want to get their dictionary out or their phone out and type in the word consent and look up the definition and then apply that to how you're living now and say with a straight face that you gave them your consent to govern you. And if I don't give them my consent to govern me, where the fuck do I go to turn that in and say, hey, don't govern me? I'm cool. I'm good. There's no way for that. So you telling me this dude took a pistol that he had on himself in one of the most dangerous lands on the planet, America, where everyone has fucking guns. There's more prisons than anything else here, which in turn we can deduce that maybe there's more criminals. Who knows? But again, that goes back to that arbitrary shit that who's calling who a criminal. But staying on point, like, yo, if I have a gun, man, whose business is that except mine? Like, when did he become wrong because he had a gun? When did he become wrong because he threw the gun, because he knew that these certain group of people who have a grandiose view of themselves and feel that they're more elite and dominant over you get to make up rules specifically for you, not for them, because they can do whatever the fuck they want, but make up rules specifically for you to follow. And if you do not follow those rules, then you can be deemed a bad person, or you're a criminal, or this, that, and the third. Like, that's what I want Kev Gills to do. Show me what was the fucking point of that video. Like, that's what, like, because at the end of the day, the only person that could have benefited, for real, is law enforcement. That shit cannot benefit black people rising up and coming together with each other, or the ones who do want to come together and making a better world for our children and ourselves in the best way that we can. That video had nothing to do with that. That video had nothing to do with breaking down a nigga that's fraud. Like, that's not like going at Polite and Sonetta. That's not like going at Reggie whack ass. That's not like going at Unc Lion crackhead ass. That's not like going after Mayat and them bullshit artists. That's not like calling, saying Malachi Z. York did this, that. It's not the same thing. So you did that video, bro, and I'm wondering now, like, whose side are you? What was the point of that shit? Like, because I kind of got at the end, you was like kind of referring to him supposedly scamming people, asking people for money for an attorney. First of all, there's no such thing as let me say this correctly. Jurisdiction can be challenged at any time. So the person who said that it's too late anyway, you don't know what the fuck you're talking about, because it's never too late. He can challenge it on the basis of jurisdiction and say they didn't have the jurisdiction to do what they did, because they really didn't, because they don't have any facts or evidence that their code even applies to you. So because that brother didn't do it then, like, dog, did you not see the shit that he said? Like, yo, I got out of prison and I was studying in prison and I was studying a little bit before, but I got out of prison and I tried to get a status correction. Why? Why would he go and try to get a status correction? To avoid the shit that he just went through, to try to remedy the shit that he just went through and probably heard some information about. And why would he get right out of court and file an appeal and he's not ready for that shit? He doesn't know what he's doing yet. Apparently he didn't, because he was running around trying to get status corrections and shit. No disrespect to the pharaoh. Like, everybody gotta learn in life what works and what doesn't. But this is like, damn, Kev Yo's like, you, that shit just sound real weird, nigga. Like, who, that video would only benefit law enforcement. I don't give a fuck that nigga made a rap song about whatever the fuck he did, throwing a pistol in the yard, nigga. Everybody say that shit. All these rappers running around saying shit like that. You can't apply that shit. I don't give a fuck what they just said out their mouth. You still don't have facts that is the same situation unless somebody tells you that. That's just my opinion on it, yo. I don't give a fuck what he said. Who cares? Niggas say all types of weird shits in rap songs. It's a work of art. It's a work of theater. You cannot then apply that to that. I don't care how similar it sounds. You cannot apply that, because all he has to ask you is, where's the facts that you have that is indeed what I'm talking about that day? You don't know. It could have been 4 or 5 times in that kid life that he hopped the fence and dropped a pistol because white people were chasing him, trying to put him in a cage. That's all I was saying, man. So I'm gonna holler at y'all later. Got a couple more videos basically ready to upload. I think I've done 2. And I'll upload them probably when I get back, or maybe tomorrow, or maybe when I feel like uploading them. But that's all I wanted to say, man. Like, leave that kid alone, man, because nobody got no facts and evidence that these people even had the authority and right to mess with him in the first place. So until you bring that, I don't give a fuck what he threw in the yard. Peace.